Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So I am basically getting ready today and I wanted to get ready with you and also answer some questions that have come in. I did a little question thing on my Instagram and just to kind of see if you had any questions for me specifically about acting. There might be some general ones thrown in as well to see how I feel. Skincare is really important to me as an actor because, you know, my skin is quite important. It's being shown on camera, so I try to keep it in the best nick I can. I've recently actually updated my skincare routine. I've been reading Caroline Hirons' skincare book and it is just life-changing. Like, I've honestly learned so much, which is so great. So I've given my skincare routine a bit of an overhaul. If you want to see me to do like a little updated skincare routine, then I can. And not just for the girls, for the boys as well. It's very, very important to keep your skin looking nice. Why is there a helicopter every time I film? Great. So I'm just gonna pop a little bit of moisturizer on my skin. I have been using this really nice one from Bioderma. This is the Sensi Bio Soothing Cream for Sensitive Skin. So I have sensitive skin and this range is my favorite range. I use their micellar water a lot. I found this cream is really nice for summer because of the fact that it is quite light, but it is really moisturizing as well. So I also like the eye cream. Let me grab the eye cream. So this is the eye cream. It's in a little tube. There we go, that is the eye cream. It's just really, really nice and light. And I just put a little kind of pine nut sized on my fingers and run it round. So that's my skincare done. I have already put on SPF, but I just wanted to do a little bit of moisturizer to top up the moisture. Can't get enough moisture. I'm now going to move on to makeup and I'm going to get out the questions so we can start answering questions. So today I'm actually filming today, doing like filming stuff for YouTube and shooting some stuff for the blog and Instagram. So I'm just kind of doing my everyday makeup that I do when I'm shooting. So I'm going to go in with the No. 7 City Light Tinted Moisturizer. I do like it because it's like quite skincare-y, which is nice. So my first question is the most challenging part of filming. So I would probably say the most challenging part of filming is probably if you get in a rut and you keep forgetting your lines. That can be really, really difficult because sometimes your brain is just not working the way you want it to some days. You know that there's like a specific word or a specific line that you keep like messing up on. And it's honestly the most frustrating thing because you know you can do it, but your brain is like, no, I'm gonna take my time in actually processing the information. So I'd probably say that's probably the most challenging part because that can be quite hard to get out of. But it happens to everyone. And sometimes you just need to like take a breath and just do it. Also, the early mornings can be quite challenging. I do love filming, but the early mornings can be painful. I'm now going to go in with my concealer, my trusty Glossier Stretch Concealer, and I found a good trick is if you pop it on wherever you want it to and then just leave it a couple of minutes, and actually it sets much better than if you blended it straight away. So if I look a bit weird for a little while, just ignore me. I'm just going to put a little dab of concealer on that pesky spot that has decided to come up this morning. And that one that I just used, this is a different one. This is the Catrice Liquid Camouflage High Coverage Concealer. This is lovely. This really blends out nicely. So excuse me while I look a little bit mad for a little while. And I'm just going to go in with this Gosh palette. I've been using this so much. This is their Identity Be Honest palette. So my next question is, how did I get into acting, basically? So I actually started when I was 5. So my mum enrolled me into an agency just to kind of see how I would do. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I was very much a performer kid. Quite attention seeking when I was younger, which helps to be an actor because you just want everyone to look at you performing wise. And I did fairly well, you know, as a child actor. There was a couple of instances where I nearly made it, like big time. And I'm actually kind of glad in some ways because I feel like my life would be very, very different if I had got those roles. They would have been amazing to get and they would have been life-changing, but you know, I think I wouldn't have had a normal childhood. And I think that can be quite hard when you're a child actor, is being in the spotlight, not necessarily actually going to school, because a lot of child actors end up being essentially schooled on set and homeschooled. And I don't know how I would have been, because I'm a very people person. I love people. I think I loved going to school, making friends at school, so I think my life would have been very, very different. That's how I got into acting when I was a child, and I just kept going essentially through school, and it was all I really ever wanted to do. And everything else that I do now kind of just fell into place along the way, which was nice. So my next question is, what's the difference between filming on like a feature film or a TV series aside to filming on a short film? There isn't actually that much of a difference. The crew may be smaller. I feel like I got something in my eye. I have an eyelash. There we go, I got it. Yeah, so there's not actually that much of a difference. I actually have found short films to be very, very professional. I've been very lucky in the fact that I've done quite a lot of film school ones, and they have just been so professional in, you know, what they do, and they love what they do and they want to do it for a career, and so they really try and put as much as they can into it, which is great. Yeah, so I think the main thing is that you'll find that there's, like in budget, for example, you know, there won't be as many crazy special effects or props or things like that. If you're on like a series or a feature film, obviously the filming time's longer, so you'll find that you kind of get to know the crew a little bit more. You become quite like a family, which I absolutely love. That family environment is one of the reasons why I love acting so much, because it is so supportive. So yeah, that's probably the only difference. You don't really get much time to, you know, get to know people on short films, but then it encourages you to get to know people quicker because you know you're only 2 or 3 days filming. So yeah, so that's probably the main difference to me, is probably crew size and budget. Okay, so I'm gonna now put on a very, very, very broken powder palette from Essence. I love this powder. This is their All About Matte fixing powder. This actually shattered. I ended up fixing it. Next question. Has there ever been a time when I've forgotten my lines on set or I have kept laughing? Yes. It happens. It actually doesn't happen like a huge amount. I've been on set as well. Other actors have done the same. You know, you just got to try and laugh it off, and especially if it's, I know it can be difficult because you kind of think, you know, time is money, especially in the film world, you know, see, I told you this palette's broken, the lid's just come off. So I'm now going to do my brows with the KVD Beauty Signature Brow Pencil. Yeah, so going back to like the forgetting lines, ask just to take a minute, like a break. That is normally fine because obviously they want you to be in the best headspace for doing this. And sometimes you just need to just walk away for a minute, take a breath and go in. Laughing is definitely a problem because, you know, it's when you get the giggles, it just doesn't go away. So I find that, it sounds awful, but I try and think of like the worst thing. That's the thing, it's really hard because if it's not me, I will just keep laughing, but obviously I don't want to be distracting the other actor or actors if they've got the giggles and then they're trying to compose themselves and then I'm just laughing away at the fact that they've had the giggles for the past however long. But yeah, it happens. And the great thing is as well is that on set, they are normally quite relaxed about that sort of thing. Obviously they don't want to waste time, but they know that, you know, if you try and remain professional and be like, okay guys, I'm not gonna laugh anymore, you know, then they will appreciate that. Worst thing I had to do in a scene, that's a hard one. Because actually, I enjoy most of the jobs that I do. Like there's been plenty of auditions when I've had to do really weird things and I've been like, okay, because obviously you want the job. I don't think it's really anything bad. There's been times when I've really like questioned a piece of direction, but obviously again, you can't like say like, no, I'm not gonna do that because the director is the person running the show at the end of the day. I don't know if I can answer that. There's definitely been times when I've worn something absolutely hideous and I've been like, what on earth am I wearing? There's just been times when I've been put in costumes, like, it's not necessarily like it's horrible, but the style of it, or it's really unfair. Oh no, I do remember the worst thing I had to wear. So I had to play a Mormon in something, and I was in like this full-on blouse, floaty blouse, but then it was like tucked into this very floaty skirt, and I just looked frumpy as hell, and I was like, oh, okay. This is fun. But the role was absolutely fantastic, so I was just kind of like, okay, I've just got to put up with the fact that I'm wearing something absolutely vile. Okay, so I'm now going to go on to my mascara. This is the Iconista Lash Millionizer Volume Mascara from Catrice. How are you handling the heat? Well, when I'm filming this, it's actually not hot. When I asked for these questions, it was so hot in the UK. It was ridiculous. I absolutely love the heat. I'm such a summer baby. But that heat that we had in the UK, like 35 degrees, oh, I was not enjoying it whatsoever. I was sat next to a fan. I was inside, which is so rare for me. Normally, as soon as it gets warm outside, I'm out there. Now I'm making the most of the heat. I'm working outside, I'm doing everything outside. But no, I was inside, curtains closed to try and cool down my room. And yeah, it was horrible. So that's a nice random question. But yeah, luckily now it's kind of gone back to normal summer temperatures in the UK, which is so much better. Okay, I've had a question about workshops. So I've talked a fair bit about workshops. I really recommend them. Oh, I'm gonna go into my bronzer. This is a really old Bare Minerals one. This is called the Skinny Dip, but it's so old. Like, I don't think they do it anymore. But to be honest, I really, really like the Bare Minerals bronzers anyway. Yeah, so workshops, like, I really recommend them. I think for an actor, or even if you're like just starting out, I find that actually they are such a great way in between jobs to keep practicing, a bit like acting classes. But you can also do things like casting director workshops, which is so useful. I've spoken about them a lot before. I think it's good to like do the casting director workshops and then any specific workshops that you feel like you need to do, because you may want to focus on Shakespeare or audition technique. And I think it's just best to have a little look and see what might work for you. So it's just very, very personal. Right, blusher is the Stila Convertible Colour in Lilium. So someone asked me about Backstage, which is a casting website, and they also do like, I think they have like resources and tips and things like that. They do like a lot of I've been doing like a lot of webinars at the moment. I don't use them actually. I've been thinking about looking into it. I mainly use Spotlight, which is where my agent puts me forward for jobs, and also Casting Networks, because I put myself forward for jobs on there. I find that's really, really good. There's some really good jobs that come up on there. So I find actually those are the only ones I use. Like, I don't use Mandy at all. I know some people love Mandy, but I just find that it's kind of a lot more kind of lower paid jobs and corporate jobs, and sometimes they end up going back actually onto Spotlight. I've just found for me, paying for Spotlight and also paying for photos and video on Casting Networks is much better for me, and I get my money back essentially from the jobs I get. Right, I'm gonna go in with this highlighter from Miss Lynn, and it's called Glow For It. It's a lovely powder. I love their packaging. They're just so cool. And it's kind of like a pinky highlighter. Just looks so nice on the skin. All right, let's just have a couple more questions. So the amount of questions I get about getting castings for Netflix is outrageous. There are so many questions I get, and I get it because Netflix is great and everyone wants to get on Netflix essentially. To be honest with you, there is no specific agency where you will get, they will only have Netflix auditions. Any good agent will have the connections and will get the castings for Netflix. On a lot of casting director workshops or interviews that I've had, a lot of them are really open and they say we put castings out to all the agents on Spotlight. So there's no like specific one that will be like, I will get you a job on Netflix, because there's no guarantee of that anyway. There's no guarantee that any agent will get you any job, because it totally depends on the working climate. I think any reputable agent will basically be getting the castings for Netflix, so don't worry about trying to search out a specific Netflix agent, because if they are saying that, they're probably a bit scammy. So yeah, you can go to any good reputable agent. What agency am I with? That's a good question. I am with Crystal Arts, who I also teach for. They are really good. Oh, I haven't said what lip gloss I'm wearing. This is a Laura Mercier one lip glass. And I don't think they do this shade anymore. It's like this gorgeous little like peachy pink, but they do like a similar shade. This is called Pink Prep, but I don't think they do this anymore. But their lip glaces, I don't know what you call them, are really, really nice. All their shades are lovely. I'm definitely thinking of getting some more. And that's the thing as well, like my agency has times when they've got their books open. I think just generally when you're approaching an agent, just go for it, don't be afraid, because you never know, they might take an interest in you. Okay, let's do one more question while I put my fixing spray on. Do you think I could get an agent with 0 experience? Again, this is one of my most asked questions. This fixing spray is the Sport FX Mist and Fix. I did like a video recently about how to start getting into acting, and you know, whether you can approach agents. You can totally approach agents if you don't have any experience, especially if you are younger, because the thing is about agencies is that if there's a younger actor or someone who wants to get into acting and they've got a really good look or they've got potential from maybe any clips that they've shown, an agency will probably want to invest in that and get involved in that. You know, I know my agency does that a lot. There's some younger actors who they've taken on and then they've kind of brought up and they've helped them, gotten them jobs from, you know, even if they don't have experience, which is amazing. I'm just gonna get my hairbrush. To be honest, you can totally actually approach an agent if you've got no experience. That is totally fine. You don't need to worry about that. And to be honest, there's no harm just generally if they do turn around and say no, because you know, you've tried, and you can always, like in another 6 months time, send around another email. One thing I would definitely say about approaching agents, you know, regardless of whether you have any experience or not, is don't bombard them. They are busy people. It's like casting directors, you know, there'll be times when you may not get an answer, and don't be offended, because that is just the way of the industry, you know, so don't worry about that whatsoever. I'd maybe send out some emails to some agents that you like the look of, and then if you don't get any replies or you get some no's, then, you know, take a step back, work on your craft, go to classes, see if you can get any jobs, you know, by yourself, because there are always jobs coming up on Twitter, on like Mandy and, you know, casting networks and places like that. And then like in 6 months time, regardless of what stage you are at, send out another email again and just say hello, touching base again, because it may be the fact that they actually change their mind, you never know. So I am ready for my day of filming, and that is the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. As always, if you've got any questions, acting related or otherwise, then just let me know. I love doing Q&As, especially about acting, because I just love helping you guys out, especially if you're just starting out. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a like if you did, and comment below if you've got any questions. Subscribe if you are new. I do lots of acting videos, as well as some beauty and some fashion, travel and lifestyle thrown in as well. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.